Hey guys, welcome back to Beach and Fishing. Paul here with you again. Beach and Fishing is my site and channel aimed at everything to do with fishing. I love fishing. I try and spend a lot of time doing it. Not at the moment because it's cold and wet again. We've had some shocking weather around here recently. So once again, I'm just catching up on videos and doing what I do in the world of fishing. And today we're going to talk about the best spinning reels for bass fishing. Now, bass fishing is something that I do here in a few lakes and rivers around the place. We catch Australian bass. Which do, as I understand, get up to around the size of the smallmouth and largemouth bass in the US. I have been largemouth bass fishing in the US. It was a great day, caught one, nearly pulled me out of the boat. But yes, I do a lot of we do some freshwater fishing around here. And to be honest, when it comes to the techniques are different and the lures you use are different and where you fish for them are different. But, you know, if I'm being totally honest and taking it down to brass tacks, I mean, a spinning reel is a spinning reel and a bait caster reel is a bait caster reel. I mean, they all catch the same, they all do the same thing. They all catch different fish. But I think it's more about matching what it is you're trying to use with those reels for the type of fish you're catching. For example, this little tiny reel here I use in a kayak, and I play with it with some little live bait that we catch around the place, and I catch some bream and some flathead and some whiting. Those in Australia would know those fish. Not real big, you know, you get some decent ones, but this little reel will do fine. I'm certainly not going to, however, take this out ocean fishing. First fish that I catch there would break probably snap the reel in half. And that's what it comes down to with bass fishing and the type of reels that you're choosing. So today we're talking about spinning reels. So just a very quick run through of spinning reels that for those of you who haven't, probably always use them but haven't really done much with them. Spinning reel, they spin with the handle. The handles are interchangeable. You can swap them around to left or right. They simply unscrew at the side there, pull out, go around the other side. Everything's handled with this bail. So the bail is this part at the front. It flips up. Once it flips up, the line if it wasn't on my thing, it just casts out. When you're on a fish, pop it back and the line goes through there and comes in as such. The drag on spinner reels is handled at the front. I don't know if you can hear that. If I put that near the microphone, you might be able to hear that clicking. So that is what handles the reel. If I unscrew that all the way, the whole spool will come off. And so if I can unscrew that all the way, I can get that spool off. And you can see that the line sits on that spool. A lot of them are interchangeable. This one actually came with a slightly larger one, so I could put some more, or smaller actually, so I could put more line on it if I wanted to. Everything's housed inside and so on and so forth. So the main thing to keep in mind with these when it comes to bass fishing is that, I guess the things to be aware of is bass are an extremely hard-hitting fish. As I say, the largemouth bass I caught in the US nearly pulled me out of the boat. I wish I had a photo of it because I'm very proud of it, but I don't. And I could be making it up, I'm not. But it great fighting fish. So you need to have a good sturdy reel. This one's actually a bass fishing reel. I bought it from Cabela's in the US. Same day that I didn't use it for bass fishing. It was cheap and I wanted something for my son's little rod. He's got a little, they call them children's rods, but it's just basically a little 5-foot fiberglass rod. This goes on it and it's great fun. That's why I use it. Using a small reel and a small rod on any fish is fantastic fun. They really pull, even the smallest fish feels like I've caught a whale on this one. They're really good fun. That said, it's not going to handle anything big. So this size is a 500 reel. Most of them will start at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. You'll see that on the side. I haven't got any other spinning reels in here, which is unusual. I normally do. But this one is 500, which means it's not going to, 2 pound mono is probably its limit. I've got about, I think that's about an 8 pound braid on there, which is about right for this sort of reel. For bass fishing, I would recommend going up around the 4,000 to 6,000 mark. I've got a bait runner reel, which when you push the back there, it free spools, which I love, but you don't necessarily need them. But anything to do with it in a 4 to 6,000 range reel I would recommend for bass fishing. As I say, it's because they hit hard and they fight hard. The bigger reel, the stronger reel, and they're a lot smaller these days as well. Try something in lightweight aluminium or carbon fiber. The more you pay, the better quality the reel will be. That doesn't turn real well, and you can see gaps in the back there. See around the spool, around the internal spool there. The higher quality the reel, the less of that it has, so stuff can't get inside. If you pick up a high quality reel, I picked up a 1000 model at the fishing shop the other day. It was about this size. As soon as you touch it, it just spins around on its own. They've really got some good work in them these days. 4,000, 6,000. The other things to look for when you're looking at a spinning reel is they'll talk about ratio. Now ratio is standard across all reels. This one here is 5.1 to 1. Meaning every time I turn that, it's actually brought the line in 5.1 times around that spool. So obviously it's not bringing in one spool every time you turn the reel. So that's spinning faster than what the handle is. Ball bearings, this one has 5 ball bearings in it, which is actually pretty good for a I mean, this is a great reel, and I'm trying not to use the word cheap because it's really not a cheap reel as such, but it is cost effective. The more ball bearings you can get for the price, the better. The ball bearings sit inside here, so when you turn, they sit inside the handle there, so when you turn, it just makes those move a little bit smoother. They often go 5+1, which will be 1 in the bail thing there as well. So the ball bearings, and that's something else with the higher end, high quality rods, high quality reels. The ball bearings are usually encased and corrosion resistant. This is a freshwater reel. And for bass fishing, obviously bass fishing is done in fresh water. If you are planning to use your reel in salt water as well, make sure it's categorized as a saltwater reel. I use this in salt water all the time, and I rinse it fastidiously when I'm finished, and it hasn't rusted yet. So I'm not saying go out and spend $800 on a freshwater reel and take it to salt. I'm just saying that if you look after them, will change over, but just be aware of that if you want to use it elsewhere. So think about the bearings and the ratio. They'll all have them. That's just the amount that they have. A rule of thumb used to be the more bearings you get for the price, the better. Ratio, bearings, other things to look at, anti-reverse switch here. So this one here, I can turn it that way, but can't turn it that way. As soon as I click that off, I can turn it. And interestingly enough, one of the few places I do use the anti-reverse switch is when I am in a river and we're chasing freshwater species, because I can put that over and let the current take my lure or my bait down before I retrieve it back in. So I do let that reverse out there, otherwise flick it over. No reverse. Look for a little line holder, that's where that is there, and go from there. So that's basically what you're looking for a spinning reel. Now the spinning reels also, the size of the reel determines the line that you can put on. If we scroll down here, you'll see, this is in my post. I'm not going to read it all to you, obviously. I talk about bearings, rotation, drag, casing, everything that we've discussed. You can see here your line capacity. So for a reel, if you get a 4,000 or a 6,000 reel, you can have an 8 to 12 pound in general mono, or 8 to 12 pound braid. If you go up, you can have 12 to 16 pound. I'm not sure that's right. I might have to double check that. I'm not quite sure that number there is right. I would look, if I had a 4,000, I would go up to that to about 16. So I need to double check that. So hopefully by the time you watch this video, that's changed. 6,000, I'd go 12 to 30 pound. I have about 15 pound braid on my 4,000 reel, and I've got a 6,000 reel which I use in the surf and in boats, and I've got I think it's about 20 pound braid on that. So that's where your braid is obviously the same size but a lot stronger, which is why you can get that higher poundage rate based on the size of the spool that you're looking at. So that's just something to be aware of when it comes to your spinning reels, as well as match the size to the pound of the braid. If you go too high, it'll spool off. If you go too low and you're using a 4,000 to chase a big largemouth bass and you've got a 9 pound line on there, I mean, unless you're really good with your drag, it'll probably snap the fish, snap the line. So just be aware of that. Match your line to your reel. Okay, so let's have a look at the 3 that I've come up with. I've chosen these based on the information that I've given within the post. Look for something with that's well made, good amount of bearings in it. The higher rust resistance, the better. Even if you're using it in fresh water, they can still rust because you're around water. And I have actually seen a lot of places that I've read, from the super duper bass fishermen in the US. A lot of them actually will say that they use a saltwater reel anyway because it's just got better protection. Match your line to your spool, and as I say, about 4,000 to 6,000. So let's have a look at the ones I've chosen here, just as a round off there. First one here is Piscifun. It's a spinning reel, ultra light, ultra smooth. Size is 2 to 5,000. As I say, stick around to 4,000. 9+1 bearings, 5.2 to 1 ratio. Aluminium graphite, which means it's light. Anti-reverse switch, interchangeable winder, and line holder. Those drag ratings are based on the different sizes here. These ones, Piscifun have a lot of options on Amazon, and they're always well rated and they're always very cost effective. So if you just want to, just get yourself into it and find a cost effective option, you could definitely do worse than this one. Okay, next one, then we get into Penn. The Penn Battle 2 and Penn Battle 3 fishing reels are well worth the effort. That doesn't have the price on. Let's see how much that is. Currently unavailable. We go to the Penn store. They're around $100. I'll find somewhere else and put that link on there. Let's see if I can find it in another area. You can't see what I'm doing, obviously, so I won't keep you too long. But yeah, they're really good. I've got a couple. I haven't got one myself, but a couple of friends of mine have them, and they swear by the Penns. They're really worthwhile looking at. I can't find them anywhere. They're not around at the moment. But anyway, have a look at those if you can find them. The Penn Battle 2, as I say, or go to the Penn Battle 3 if you've got a bit more financial availability. 3 to 8,000 again, 4 to 6 range, 5.1, full metal waterproof, drag on the front, lightweight, and braid ready spool, which means a lot of spools are set up. They're very smooth, so if you try and put braid on it, they just slide, and then the braid gets caught. So the recommendation for them is to put a mono back on. So put about 2 or 3 rounds of mono on the bottom, then attach your braid and link that through. Have a look at my post about fishing knots if you want to see how to tie mono to braid. But this one doesn't need that because it's got a braid ready spool. So the Penn, if you can find the Penn Battle 2s, well worth the effort. They don't stay unavailable for long, trust me, because I've seen them come off and on very quickly. So check that out by the time you're in this post. And the third one, now we're getting up to our higher range in price, $229 for this one. Shimano Stratic. I again don't have one of these, but again a friend of mine does, and I have used it, and it is, I don't know why I don't have one, because it is one of the best reels I've ever used. I use it in saltwater, mind you, but everything is just, Shimano is a very well known and good brand, and everything just works properly with these ones. Very good ratings, a little bit more expensive, as I say, but 1 to 5,000. Again, stick the 4 to 5,000. Good bearings, good ratio. The Hagane steel. Click on that and you can read all about that. Good drag, all the options. Long stroke spool, ARB bearings, which means that, remember I mentioned about bearings being water resistant themselves? That's anti-rust in the bearings. So the bearings are going to last you a long, long time. Very, very good reel. I highly recommend that one as well. Okay guys, so that's my 3 recommended spinning reels for bass fishing. As I say, look, spinning reels are spinning reels, and in all the research I've done across, and all the fishing I've done across, freshwater, saltwater, you see the same reels everywhere. And as I say, I've chosen these 3 based on what bass do. They're very aggressive fish, they hit very hard, and you'll need a good solid reel to give you the best opportunity of landing them. That's it. Hope that was helpful for you. If you're watching this within YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel below. If you're watching within the post, please comment below if you have any experience with any of the reels you're looking at, any comments on bass fishing, what you use, what you've used, if you found it, whatever you found to use good, how's that for grammar? Whatever you've used, if it's gone well for you, not so well, any experience with the ones I've listed, comment below. Would love to hear from you and love to see what everyone's using. Thanks guys, have fun fishing, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye.